Total Money Makeover. In my previous videos, I took you through where I explain Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps to a total money makeover, and I took you through baby step number 1 and baby step number 2. In today's video, we'll be talking about baby step number 3. Baby step number 3 is to save up 3 to 6 months worth of your monthly expenses. And as we've seen in baby step number 1 is where we save up a baby emergency fund. This baby emergency fund is to give you a bit of cushion while you concentrate on baby step number 2, which is to pay up all your debt except for your home or your home mortgage. So in baby step number 3, we're trying to bump up that emergency fund that we have, because initially at baby step number 1 we only had a baby emergency fund that was just a little cushion that would help us, get the debt out of the way. But now in baby step number 3 we get serious about building building a bigger emergency fund. So Dave Ramsey recommends that you build up an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses. This is not 3 to 6 months worth of your income, it's 3 to 6 months worth of your monthly expenses. If, say, you'll take whatever amount you pay on your rent or your home mortgage, your car payments, your school fees, your monthly groceries, all the expenses that you have every single month, tally them up, multiply them by 3 to 6 months. So how do you determine whether you should save 3 months worth of expenses or 6 months worth of expenses? Dave Ramsey recommends that here is where you look at, the stability of your job or the stability of your income. If you're somebody who knows that you have a very stable job, that, there are no chances of anything going wrong at your job or maybe layoffs, he says it's okay to save up 3 months worth of expenses. But if you know that, your job that is a bit of unstable and you're not sure about your income stability as such, he recommends that you play on the safer side and save up 6 months worth of expenses. But I think in the end it's up to each and every individual to decide where they're comfortable with, whether they'll be saving up 3 months worth of monthly expenses or 6 months worth of monthly expenses. So the main aim of this stage of saving this emergency fund is that, remember, now you've just finished paying up all your debt, and we know Murphy's law. Things do go wrong, whether we like it or not. Nobody is immune to emergencies. So because now you've finished paying all of your debt and you're living on a budget, you're being very intentional with how you use your money and you're using your money wisely. Say you get faced with this huge emergency that you didn't expect, or say one of the breadwinners in the family loses that job, God forbid. At least you have this income to deal with this emergency. Or if you lose your job and you're still trying to look for a different job or still trying to look for a new job, there is some income that you're gonna live off of. What this emergency also does is that it acts as a buffer to new and more debt. If you have emergencies or things that go wrong that you didn't anticipate, you do have money that you can use up to pay for those emergencies, instead of now being forced to go back into debt, being forced to open a new credit card and start using a credit card again. You have cushion, you have that income that's for little unexpected things that maybe your monthly income may not be able to cover. So just imagine, sit back and think in your mind, you are now debt free, you've got no other payments because you finished paying up all your debt in baby step number 2, except for your home. So you've got no debt whatsoever. You have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in your bank, just sitting there waiting for emergencies. But however, he cautions that you need to be clear on what emergencies are, so that you don't find yourself dipping into this emergency fund for things that are not really emergencies, because this money is there just purely for emergencies. For example, Christmas is not an emergency. Christmas comes every year at the same time. It never changes, it never gets moved. It's on the 25th of December every single year. So say there's a trip that you didn't save up for during the year, and now it's Christmas and you want to go see a family or whatever it is that you may want to do for Christmas. You don't dip into your emergency fund to get your family gifts, or you don't dip in your emergency fund to take that Christmas holiday trip. It's purely for emergencies. So things that are coming, like your car's being serviced. If you're not if you need money to service your car, you should have what we call a sinking fund for that emergency, which I'll address at a later stage. But the whole point of a sinking fund is to get prepared for things that are coming. Like I just made an example with Christmas, because I know we have a culture of going crazy in December, festive season bug, where we feel like we just have to use money irresponsibly. So be clear on what an emergency is. Your tires, for example, you hit a pothole, all your 4 tires burst, that's an emergency. You can dip into your emergency fund. So he is very clear here where he says, be very careful not to now dip into this emergency fund for things that are not emergencies. It's clearly for emergencies, and it's there as a cushion so that when you encounter emergencies, just little inconveniences that you'll be able to take care of easily. So baby step number 3 is to save up 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses, and here is where you sit down and you decide which one would work for you, whether it's 3 months or whether it's 6 months. And secondly, after you fund or you fill up this emergency fund, you are clear on what are emergencies and what aren't emergencies, so that you don't see yourself running to this emergency fund to take money and pay up things that are not emergencies. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video where we'll be talking about baby step 4, 5 and 6 together. Thank you so much. Bye bye.